Hi guys, welcome back to the Happiness Company. I'm Avani and we are reviewing the book Joyful by Ingrid Fetell Lee, a famous designer and a famous TED Talk speaker. And this is the third episode in which we talk about minimalism and maximalism and how it affects joy. Minimalism is rooted in a strange morality, while it is maximalism that truly evokes joy. In the first video in the series of this particular book review, I talked about how you can change your surroundings to bring more joy in your lives. How a little tiny changes, a little bit of displacement of objects and things in your life can actually change your perception towards how beautiful life is. So how do you make those changes? Today, the design of office and buildings and big apartments follow the concept of minimalism, that less is more. It came in around 1900s when some American philosopher termed this particular idea as minimalism, where you bring more clarity, more intention, and you want everything to be explained in as minimal form as possible. Look around you, look at all those apartment buildings, those house buildings. Do they make sense? I mean, they're all the same. They look so ugly when placed together. So every office building is like a glass box. You have inserted a few sticks inside to make doors and partitions all across the place. And even in a city like Bangalore, where the weather is so amazing, you're going to be doing the same. I mean, it makes sense for cities, in fact, not all cities or all countries, but a few areas of US and Europe where the weather can be really annoying for people. But for where I come from, which is the city of Bangalore, I would not want that to happen because the weather is almost amazing every single day. Then why do we need ACs? Why do we need artificial lights? And why do we need everything packed up in a box? Truth is that the architects have forced us and brainwashed us to believe that Western design is suitable for this particular environment, while it isn't. Every design is dependent on the kind of area, the kind of surroundings that it is being built in. Indian architecture, when you look at a few years from now, in fact decades from now, was very vibrant, it was very beautiful. You go and look at those structures, there were colors, there were intricacies in design, there were new innovations going on every second. In fact, even the china that we used was so intricate. I mean, all the dishes, all the pipes, the way the kings used to drink from hookah. You go and look at them in the museums, you'll realize that Indian history, Indian design history was based on the kind of culture or the kind of weather or the kind of setup that people used to live in. Now that we're trying to build that contrast here, where the weather is amazing or the kind of culture that we live in, the kind of way we talk is different and the kind of buildings we live in is different, it is creating a sense of confusion. Designers and architects across the world and in our country need to realize this, that design plays a very important role in shaping the society. It's not just ideas, it's not beliefs, it is design that it reflects the ideas and beliefs. And for a place like this, if you build grey walls, black cabinets and stuff like that, it's not going to work. And this brings us to our next idea, which is of maximalism, or as you would like to call in general terms, abundance. I'll take an example here. So take an example of soap bubbles. So whenever you use that thing, I don't know what it's called, but when you blow into the soap bubble operator and it lets out some bubbles, if it keeps letting out one bubble at a time, it won't look just as beautiful or as engaging to you. But when there are hundreds of bubbles coming out, it would actually look really beautiful to the eye and it will give you that sense of joy as you were looking for. The same is true for confetti. So one confetti is actually called, one element of the confetti is actually called confetto. I mean, that is the term for it. So let's say you take out one piece of small paper and you throw it at someone. It won't make any sense. And if you gather 100 colorful such pieces and you throw it at someone, it would actually mean that maybe you're trying to shower love, it's his or her birthday or something of that sort. So nowadays people are trying to design such architectures that bring in warmth, as is true for our culture as well. So if you want to build something in India, you would want to show more warmth, you would want to show more colors, more abundance. You won't just put out one flower over there, you would put out tens and hundreds of flowers actually, because that would, so why are bouquets much more interesting to look at, much more soothing to look at than a single piece of flower or a rose, whatever whatever kind of flower you're holding in your hand? It is true because there's an abundance of beauty in that bouquet. Although you don't want abundance for everything, but as much as possible you would like to bring that in your life. So you want more color, you would want to splash one here, splash one there, and make the world look better for yourself. But somewhere we need to understand that even when this is true, there is a reason why we call all of this immature and silly. This is my inference from the book, so I would highlight on that particular part here, that I know you need maximalism, but you also need minimalism. You need some kind of a balance between the two. You can't just go out into the world and, you know, feeling all free and then coming back to work and feeling all monotonous and dull. So how do you bring this balance? I've got a very beautiful piece of design that I own that I would like to share with you all. Yeah, this bottle that I purchased from Miniso. This is not me marketing this particular product, but look at it. It's so beautiful. If this was a normal minimalistic, this design will obviously be called minimalism, but if you closely observe this particular bottle, there's this rubber, there's glass, there's a beautiful way the cap is filled here, there's color in this bottle, there's glass so that I can see the water, so it's more convenient for me, as well as it's got a beautiful design. There's texture and all sorts of things. So this is the kind of minimalistic design that we need today. We need more color in it, but we also need a little bit of sophistication. I would want you to watch this for as long as you want and draw important conclusions for what kind of products and what kind of surroundings can you make for your own self in order to bring this kind of balance in your life, where you are minimalistic but you also promote maximalism, so that there is joy, there is some sort of happiness, there is peace, there's vibrance, there's vividness, but there also is some sophistication, some organization, because we can't stop living into the world and going into the jungle. I mean, some can do it, but not everyone can build a house near a beach and live there forever. So what do you do? This. In our next video, we talk about other important things related to our surroundings and some hacks as to how can you make your life more accessible to vibrance, as well as more convenient for your own self to live a proper scheduled life, just like how we talked, a balance between minimalism and maximalism. Let's discuss that in our next video.